Hello, my name is Bob Bryant. I'm an 83-year-old retired dentist who has attended 4 presentations by Rutgers professors. The purpose of this video is to explain why computer-generated climate models vary widely. Why do the computer-generated models show each succeeding year to be the warmest on record? This is important because of what our leaders have told us. Al Gore said we need to institute a Marshall Plan to fight global warming. Hillary Clinton said climate change is the most urgent, consequential, sweeping collection of challenges we face. Bernie Sanders said climate change is a serious problem we must face. President Obama said carbon dioxide is a pollutant. All of the assertions made by these socialistic leaders are false and will cost our country trillions of dollars if they are implemented. President Obama urged the adoption of the Paris Accord. Presidents Herbert Walker Bush, Bill Clinton, and George W. Bush would not sign the Paris Accords because it would be so detrimental to the United States. First, let's look at this chart developed by Drs. Spencer and Christy. In 1989, Dr. Roy Spencer developed global temperatures from microwave data observed from satellites beginning in 1979. For this achievement, the Spencer-Christy team was awarded NASA's Medal for Exceptional Scientific Achievement in 1991. In 1996, they were selected to receive a special award by the American Meteorological Society for developing a global, precise record of Earth's temperature, fundamentally advancing our ability to monitor climate. The red line is an average of the many models generated by computers. The blue line represents the actual temperature as determined by Dr. Christy and Dr. Spencer. There is a huge discrepancy. I shall now use Rutgers professor Dr. Broccoli's chart of New Jersey temperatures to explain this discrepancy. Dr. Broccoli's computer-generated chart covers the same time frame and land area as the National Oceanic and Atmospheric Administration's chart. NOAA says their chart includes New Jersey. When I tell warmest that it is not getting warmer, the refrain is that I am only talking about local weather, and the whole world must be included. That argument cannot be applied here, since both charts apply to a very small land area, New Jersey, and in the same time frame. Rutgers professor Dr. Broccoli says his study is on why is New Jersey's climate changing. He creates a chart of past New Jersey temperatures using a computer. I can understand the logic of trying to determine future temperatures using present data, but why would anyone want to determine past temperatures using a computer, since we already have thermometer records of past temperatures? I didn't understand how one could determine the past record of temperatures in New Jersey using a computer. I later sat down next to Dr. Broccoli at a warmest presentation at Rutgers, so I asked him how he could determine the past climate in New Jersey using a computer. He said he used carbon dioxide records. Since Dr. Broccoli lists man-made carbon dioxide is the main cause of warming in the United States, we need to look at this chart showing the dramatic rise in carbon dioxide since the 1960s throughout the world to understand Dr. Broccoli's chart. There has been a rise in carbon dioxide. That is a fact. The question is, what caused the increase in carbon dioxide? The warmest claimed it was caused by man burning fossil fuels. The burning of fossil fuels is actually an insignificant player in the rise of carbon dioxide. On the left is Dr. Broccoli's chart, and the right is the National Oceanic and Atmospheric Administration's chart of the temperature
for about the last 120 years. Both charts cover the same period. Dr. Broccoli's chart shows cold readings in blue and the warm readings in red, while the NOAA's chart shows the warm readings in red. The National Oceanic and Atmospheric Administration is referred to as NOAA. As I said, I have lived through 6 climate change. NOAA's chart conforms with my recollections, whereas Dr. Broccoli's chart contradicts my recollections. And NOAA's chart. Broccoli's chart shows the beginning of the 20th century to be cold. NOAA's chart shows it to be warm. Broccoli's chart shows the 30s to be cold, where in actuality it was extremely hot. Broccoli's chart shows the 40s to be hot, where it was cold. And Broccoli's chart shows this century to be hot, extremely hot, whereas it has been cool. Now, the first climate I remember was in the 1930s. When I was a young boy, it was so hot, I would frequently go inside to take a shower in order to cool down. This is the Environmental Protection Agency's chart showing the United States Annual Heat Wave Index, which confirms NOAA's chart and my recollection. The highest New Jersey temperatures ever recorded was 110 degrees Fahrenheit in July of 1936. The only time a Major League Baseball game was canceled due to heat was in 1936. We all know the 1930s Dust Bowl, when such high temperatures were never before recorded. The heat was intense. There are numerous newspaper articles and books testifying as to the heat of the 30s, not only in the United States, but also in Europe. Dr. Broccoli's chart shows the 40s to be hot, whereas this chart shows it to be cold. The German invasion of Russia in the early 40s failed partly due to the extreme cold, where many Germans froze to death. In the 40s, I played ice hockey all winter outside because it was so cold. There would have been no ice if it was as hot as Dr. Broccoli's chart shows. This is the rink upon which I played ice hockey. When I was a junior in high school, I hoped to play on the senior team. Up till then, I had played on the junior team, but the ice never formed because it got warm in the 50s, as you can see here. During the 60s, right here, Paul Ehrlich had a friend, John Holdren, and they predicted a new ice age during the 70s when it was cold. And they blamed man's burning of fossil fuels. They said the soot from the burning of fuels would block out the rays of the sun. America was the biggest villain since we burned the most fossil fuels. The heat of the 70s and 80s destroyed this anti-American theory. That didn't stop Ehrlich and Holdren. They adopted Al Gore's anti-American global warming theory, which blames man's burning of fossil fuels producing carbon dioxide, a greenhouse gas, as a culprit. Can you get your heads around this? Men burning fossil fuels was to cause global cooling and a new ice age. But 10 years later, Ehrlich and Holdren tell us men burning fossil fuels are causing global warming, which will destroy the Earth's surface, making the Earth uninhabitable. We will now take a closer look at NOAA's chart. The dotted line here shows the rise in carbon dioxide. There is no large amount of carbon dioxide before the 30s to cause the great heat of the 30s. After 1930, there is a great rise in carbon dioxide, but no great heat in the 21st century. Couldn't the heat of the 30s have caused the rise in carbon dioxide? Historically, the carbon dioxide rise follows the rise in temperature. Oceans make up 71% of the Earth's surface. The oceans are a vast reservoir of carbon dioxide because plants and animals that die decompose and release carbon dioxide into the cold water. Cold water doesn't release the carbon dioxide. It was hot in the early part of the 20th century and extremely hot in the 30s. The heat from the sun came down and slowly penetrated this very deep ocean into the depths and eventually warmed up this cold water. and release the carbon dioxide into the atmosphere. It is a fact that when heat is applied to a body of cold water, the carbon dioxide is released and driven out.
The global warming advocates make the unbelievable claim that carbon dioxide is a villain causing global warming that will burn the Earth's surface, making our planet uninhabitable. They call carbon dioxide a pollutant and show smokestacks pouring out of soot to make their point that carbon dioxide is a pollutant. The problem with their effort to deceive us is that carbon dioxide is invisible, so we are not looking at carbon dioxide. We are looking at soot. It's not carbon dioxide. Carbon dioxide is invisible. Dr. William Happer is a renowned scientist from Princeton. No one knows more about carbon dioxide than he. He has worked on carbon dioxide lasers. In 1982, Dr. Happer invented the Sodium Guidestar, used by most large modern telescopes to allow clearer seeing of the stars and galaxies through atmospheric turbulence. If you suspect carbon dioxide to be a villain, consider the miracle of photosynthesis. Here we see that carbon dioxide plus water plus sunlight gives us oxygen, which we need to live, and it gives us all the food on Earth. If we take a potted plant and put it inside and don't water it, we all know that it will die. The same thing would happen with carbon dioxide. If the warmists were able to eliminate carbon dioxide, we would all die because it's part of the miracle of photosynthesis. Fortunately, the socialists are not able to change the climate or remove the carbon dioxide. Their goal is to extract trillions of dollars from us to enrich themselves and to remove our freedoms, and thereby to be under their control. This slide shows the greening of the Earth since the rise of carbon dioxide from 300 parts per million to 400 parts per million. The dry areas, shown in dark green, have benefited the most, since carbon dioxide enables the plants there to grow deeper roots to survive. We can see this in the American plains, which is a fairly dry climate. You see it's greener there. We can see it in the sub-Sahara part of Africa, which is dry, so you get more greening there. We see it in western India and somewhat around the Gobi Desert, but you really see a lot of it in Western Australia, which is extremely dry. Dr. Happer says we should spread these truths, that carbon dioxide is not a pollutant, nor will it cause catastrophic global warming. Carbon dioxide is actually good for the planet. You have a benign warming, which extends the growing season. Surely it would be a boon to Canada. And you have a major benefit to agriculture because carbon dioxide acts as like a fertilizer. We should know that the real pollution should be cost-effectively removed, and responsible use of fossil fuels is a huge benefit to humanity. We close with Winston Churchill's advice: never give in, never give in, never, never, never. We must never give in to socialists. This is the end of my presentation. However, Dr. Happer's presentation, Climate Land, by Dr. William Happer, can be accessed on YouTube. My video about the Rutgers climate change professors, The Truth About Climate Change by Bob Bryant 3, is also on YouTube. Thank you very much for watching this video.